How do I deal with a sin in my past that I still feel guilty about? The reminder comes without warning. Maybe someone brings it up. Maybe a song, a place, or a face triggers the memory. But suddenly, you're right back there, standing in the moment that you wish that you could undo. A time that you're not proud of, a sin that you carry like a stone. You wish you could go back, but you can't. So, what do you do when it surfaces again? The first wrong turn is familiar: guilt. Not just the passing pain, but a flood. The memory arrives and shame arrives with it, as fresh as the day it happened. You wallow, you beat yourself up, you pick up the weight again as if you're never going to set it down. But the second wrong turn is subtler. You don't want the guilt, so you swing so hard the other way. You laugh it off, you play it down, you reframe it as a funny story, quirky chapter, maybe even something to be proud of. But you're not fooling anyone, least of all yourself. It's just self-protection wearing a smile. Paul knew both of those roads, and he chose a third. Before Paul was the great missionary of the early Christian church, he was the most dangerous enemy. He didn't just disagree with Christians, he hunted them. He approved of their imprisonment and their death. He was, by his own admission in 1 Timothy chapter 1, a blasphemer, a persecutor, and a violent man. He didn't stumble into sin, he built a career on it. But then Jesus met him on the road to Damascus, and everything changed. So, how did Paul handle his past after that? When accusers brought it up, and they did, how did he respond? Well, he didn't brag about it. He didn't pretend it never happened. He didn't collapse into self-pity either. He placed every ounce of his confidence in the grace of Jesus Christ. Paul wrote that he received grace in overflowing measure, not a trickle dispensed reluctantly, but a flood poured out generously. The logic is almost staggering. The worse the sin, the more clearly grace shines. Paul's terrible past didn't disqualify him from grace. It became the very canvas on which grace was displayed most brilliantly. He could have been even a worse sinner still, and still grace would have been sufficient. That's not permission to sin carelessly, but it's an invitation to stop carrying what has already been forgiven. If something is in your past that keeps coming back up, if someone keeps reminding you or your memory keeps accusing you, you don't have to wallow and you don't have to pretend. Bring it to Jesus. Trust His forgiveness, not as a vague hope, but as a settled fact. And find your rest not in how well you've moved on, but how completely He has covered it. And when that old sin surfaces again, let it be one thing above all else: evidence of grace. Not proof that you are too far gone, but proof that grace reaches farther. Your sin is real. His grace is greater. That's not wishful thinking. That's the gospel.